One can grow up to be president thing just a bit too.
Welcome, everybody, back to the podcast. We know you missed that we've missed ourselves. Chief does not have headphones, but he's in the building. Back to it. And with
Haiti.
He survived Haiti. He survived cruise ships. He survived pneumonia. He survived all kinds of things this year.
Nothing can kill me.
He's impervious to all damage.
I am invincible.
I am your host, Clay. I'm with the Chief himself in the flesh. I'm with Randy. The studio audience is here. Madison's here, but she doesn't have a mic.
Madison doesn't have a mic. I don't have headphones.
It's just fair.
It's
you know?
discriminatory against Stewarts.
No. It's just socialism. We only have a certain number of things. We can only divvy them out one way.
Oh.
Socialism? What's wrong with socialism?
Before we get to that...
It's antisocial.
Before we get too far in that rabbit hole, Chief, welcome back.
It's good to be back, Clay.
Everybody, if you're listening live on Spreaker, we appreciate you. And we are so glad to be back in our normal time slot every Wednesday, except when we don't, at 2 p.m. It is live on Spreaker. And we've been off for 2 weeks. One is obviously we had to be real Americans and not do anything on the 4th of July, right?
Correct.
Because that's what you have to do. And the other one, Chief was on a mission trip in Haiti.
And let's face it, if I'm not here, you don't really have a podcast.
And we were in his office watching England.
Right. Well, the other reason is, we had to watch England in the World Cup last Wednesday during this time slot. And it did not come home.
I was fighting for my life in Haiti, and you were watching the World Cup.
You were in a walled compound.
I was watching England fight for their
beach.
lives in the World Cup. So it's kind of the same. No, it's not the same at all. And I'm glad you made it back safely. Glad the team made it back. Continue to pray for Haiti and all the unrest there. But if you read American headlines, you would think similar unrest is unfolding here. As crazy as things seem to be over the past few days with the Russia stuff.
With the treasonous president?
Yeah, stuff like that. But
What, you didn't take the bait. Come on.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to you.
He's just tuning you out.
He's about to fall asleep.
I know, you look tired.
No, I'm good.
You sure?
He's going to fall asleep
I'm
the
good.
way he's sitting in that chair.
I know you kind of lean back. The lean back makes me nervous.
I'm so comfortable. You are right about that.
You know,
I don't know that I've ever been this comfortable on a podcast.
You know, Randy sat in that chair during the World Cup last week.
That's disturbing.
And he said, you know what? This is not even a good chair.
It's not. We're getting you a new one.
If you get me a chair that's more comfortable, I will become highly unproductive. If you could get me one that reclines and the feet pop out so that I can prop my feet up, I don't have to put them on my desk.
Oh, those
that would be fantastic. But what I would rather have is one of those desks that's more fitness oriented that you can pedal.
The bike desk?
You would
bike
never
desk.
pedal that thing.
We talked about the bike
I would
desk.
pedal that thing all the time.
That was an old episode. That was one of the first
Yeah.
episodes we did talk about the bike desk. Yeah, that would be cool.
After 2 weeks, I'd weigh 160 pounds.
Wait, what? Let's be honest.
I'd pedal half my body weight away. What would be
I don't
even
even weigh
better?
160 pounds.
What would be even better is if I could pedal my desk to work, park it, pedal all day, and then pedal myself back home and just get off my
It
desk.
has removable
when I got
tires.
home.
It just sets up on this thing, and you just
Yeah.
We talked
Yeah.
about you biking to and from work earlier.
Yes.
What would people do if they saw
We didn't
him
talk about
biking down the road?
biking from work,
Just
just
to
to
work.
work.
Right.
Because I agreed that if I biked to work, I would invest in a bike rack for your car, and then you could take me home in the evenings.
I mean, that would be nice, actually. I'd like to have another bike. I used to have a bike.
You used to do physical activity?
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm all broken now, is because I quit so abruptly. One day, new game came out, and I just decided, hey, I'm done with running. I'm done with biking. I'm going to play this.
Is
And I
that
just
really
never
what
came back.
happened?
More or less. Yeah, it was a few years ago. I mean, Yeah. It was in the winter time. It was getting cold, and this game came out, and I was like, oh, I got to play this. I want to be inside.
Exercise will kill you, man. Listen, I don't know the exact statistics, but I will bet you that more people are killed by automobiles while jogging and biking than they are sitting in a recliner in their living room.
I don't know that we need hard data on that. I think that's pretty.
Yeah, I think
It's just a fact of life. Yeah, so that's what happened. I used to do that, and I had a bike. It was my dad's old bike, and I took it to college, and then this guy stole it from me while I was in class, and then I found it on the way to another class, so I took it in the classroom with me, so he wouldn't steal it back.
That seems like a lot of theft for a Christian college.
He told the maintenance department that it was his, and so they cut the chain. He was like, "Yeah, I forgot the combination. Can you cut this? It's my bike." And they were like, "Yeah, sure."
So incompetence and...
Did you ever consider suing them?
No, that seems like a lot of time and money that I don't care to.
You didn't consider suing the
It was an
maintenance
old
department?
bike. No, it was an old bike.
They cut your
I got it
chain,
back.
dude. They
Yeah.
cut your chain. Did they get you a new chain?
No.
I think Emmanuel College owes you a chain.
Nah, those guys, I mean...
Write him an email right now.
Why don't you call the admissions department?
Don't you remember 10
Right
years
now.
ago?
Listen, this one time, maintenance cut my bike chain, and I need $20 to get a new bike chain
Yes,
for the bike I don't have anymore.
correct.
They don't know you don't have the bike.
Because Chief is thinking about getting a bike to ride to work, and he needs a way
That's
to...
how... I was trying to figure out how did we get to this conversation, and I remember.
And he needs a way to lock it up.
We'll all chip in. If you commit to riding a bike to work, we'll chip in.
But
Honestly, that's...
That would be funny.
I really would like to have a bike. We could do a bike thing here.
listen, I'm trying to get my segue here, and y'all keep moving away. You keep moving
No, we're
back
not
to
talking about
bicycles.
Segway. We're talking about bikes.
You keep moving back to bicycles and away from suing.
I see what you're doing. So you weren't. That wasn't a legitimate question. It was just a segue question.
Yes, I was just trying to actually start the show.
Wow, sorry, I didn't realize you didn't
Yeah.
really care about that. But
No.
okay, so let's jump right into it then, Chief.
Yeah, so evidently, there is a coalition of high-tax blue states that have decided to sue the federal government over the new tax codes.
Okay.
New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Maryland have grouped together to fight the new tax codes because the largest possible home deduction you can take is $10,000.
Right, and their taxes are significantly higher.
And their taxes are significantly higher.
For
So-
significantly
10K.
less house.
Then
Yes.
10K. Okay.
Yeah, so they have decided to come together and say that it's unconstitutional for them to be discriminated against, which further expands my idea and my prejudice that people that live in those areas that have such high housing costs are mentally unstable.
Like the Hamptons.
Correct. Yeah, I just have a problem with someone who lives in a place where, I mean, if you want a large house, move to a place where it's cheaper and spend less money. Not to mention the fact that these people feel overtaxed, not because of the federal government, but because their own states have taxed them so heavily.
Right.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, New York can't salvage their tax codes by suing the federal government.
Yeah.
They just need to lower state tax.
Yeah.
Is what needs to happen.
Well, I mean, okay. So how does this process play out? Like, if a state is going to sue the federal government, don't they have to use state tax money to hire lawyers and stuff?
Oh yeah,
So it's going to cost the citizens of that state more.
correct. But they don't care.
Well, yeah, it's clear they don't care. I mean, already.
They lost the election, so they don't care.
Yeah, they don't. It'll be okay. It'll change back in November. Shortly thereafter, those laws will change.
Maybe.
Now they'll change.
I don't think so. But
Trump is digging a huge hole.
so yeah, I mean, basically what happens is, my housing, my state tax that I pay on my house is deductible federally.
Okay.
but the maximum deduction you can take is $10,000. So that means that people in these high tax states, they're paying over $10,000 in property taxes.
Property tax.
Oh, yeah,
Did it
that's
tell you what
huge.
percent of the people that live in those states it is?
No, not that
it's-
article.
We lived in Massachusetts. We paid $220,000 for a house that was 1,010 square feet.
That's smaller than my current apartment.
And it was
Yes.
100 years old.
Wow.
And it had 40-inch countertops, and my wife's a midget. So, like, she's
Yeah.
not really a midget, just in case. I have no prejudice against midgets. But she was too short to reach up to the countertop. We had to buy her a step stool to be able to cook.
I'm afraid of midgets.
Are you really?
Yeah, he has
I have a
thing.
friend that used to be, in the UK. She was afraid of them.
I'm not racist. I'm just afraid.
You afraid of Tyrion? Did you get that from Game of Thrones?
No, this is an old anxiety.
Did you?
Where
have,
did that
like,
come from?
Did you
How
get
did
beat
it
up by a
originate?
midget when you were younger?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just always had it.
Are
Yes.
you afraid of dolls too? Is it the doll?
No, not dolls. I'm afraid of a doll, but we're not getting into that.
Oh, okay.
A specific type
So
of
it's
doll.
it's not like an archetype dolls. It's just one doll.
One particular type of doll.
I think next show we need to get a hypnotist. Say it for me.
I don't know what you're trying to
Hypnotist.
say. Hypnotist. Okay.
Hypnotist on here and hypnotize him to try to find the repressed memory related.
Okay, I will
to
tell you
midgets.
this. I do not believe I can be hypnotized. And the reason I don't believe I can be hypnotized, it has nothing to do with my mental strength. I believe that you have to reach such a place of relaxation to go into hypnosis that before they could actually complete the hypnosis, I would be asleep,
Fully unconscious.
fully unconscious. Therefore, my mind impenetrable by the by the hypnotist.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I hate that word. That
But
word
yeah.
is-
So what are you saying about these? What do you
What
think
I'm
about
saying
this?
is, these states that are suing, the problem is not that the federal government has limited this level, this exemption. The problem is that they're overtaxing their people. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Anyone who lives in a moderately sized home should never have to pay more than $10,000 in property tax.
Sure.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
yeah, ours is
That's a lot,
What's
man.
your property tax? Ours is like,
I think
we
mine's $1,700.
yeah, that's about what we are. I mean,
A year.
We have to pay
year.
county. We have to pay Hall County and Gainesville City because
Yeah.
we're in the city, and it's a little more than that, but not much. I mean,
Yeah.
just because of the two, it's insane. And I think we pay on that lot. We pay on 2 lots because we own a lot next.
That's
to us, and it's-
deductible, right? So you can take
Yes,
so
all
you can
that's
take that
deductible.
$1,700 and then write it off
Correct.
Your
Okay.
house would have to be
up
ridiculous.
to $10K.
Yes,
Yeah. See, this stuff I don't know. I mean, I don't.
you would
own
have
it.
to
I don't own
be
a house, so.
have a ridiculous size house,
Yes.
or like you're saying, those states are pretty tax intensive.
I'm really surprised that California is not in there.
Yeah,
They
Yeah,
will
me too.
be. I mean, they're going to jump in the lawsuit. They just hadn't heard about it yet.
It's just taking some time.
Yeah, it's just taking some time to filter out there.
They're
because
3 hours
they're-
behind.
Well, not only that, but they're so busy trying to decide how many states they're going to divide themselves into
That's true.
that they're not taking calls from the
I
outside
can't believe
world
that's
right
that's
now.
going to make the ballot, right?
yeah,
Yes,
That's what- yeah.
it is.
I'm surprised they're not just going to leave America.
You know, my daughter is she goes to school in
Yeah.
California,
Yeah.
and luckily, she will still be in just California,
Just regular old,
just
plain,
regular old plain
vanilla
California.
Cali.
Yeah,
Cool.
not Northern California or Southern California, just regular old California.
See, that seems like just a little bit unfair, though. How come there's not a regular Dakota, a regular Carolina?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, what if they created like little circles in between those states? It was just regular
Regular,
vanilla.
because there's a Virginia
Yep.
and a West Virginia,
Yep.
but there's no East Virginia. So why do you really need a West Virginia if there's no East Virginia?
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like Virginia should be East Virginia,
Deep Thoughts by Jackie.
but it could. I guess it could be South Virginia in a way.
Yeah, because it's kind of below, not really east.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening to this Nobody's going to listen to this podcast. We've already lost everybody.
I don't think so.
Mountaineers.
If you're listening to Third Thoughts, you're here for this content. Don't forget, you can catch us on the on the socials at Third Podcast. I forgot to even do the intro.
Yeah.
I was so excited to get into
Well, it's
it.
because we're just so fed up with the fact that nobody goes to the Patreon page that we have just forgotten all the
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
social whatever.
I mean,
it's
if you don't, that's fine.
yeah,
fine.
we're fine.
We're okay. We're here. I mean, it's intermittent. We can only afford to be here every so often.
Right. I mean,
that's what I'm going to say anyway. It has nothing to do
if
with...
people would go to the Patreon and contribute, we might even be able to be on every day.
Well, I was going to say bi-weekly, but sure. If you give to the Patreon enough, whatever I deem enough to go every day, I will go every day.
Absolutely.
How much do you think that is? What would you say? What would it take for you to go every day live? For an hour.
An hour every day?
Yeah.
Are we talking 4 days a week or like a real week, 5 days?
A real week?
Let's say a real week. Why not? 5 days. 5 hours of your week. What's
5
that
hours
worth
of my week. How much total would somebody have to contribute to the Patreon, or what would my portion of that be?
Total. Let's just say total.
Somebody gave $200 a week.
All right.
$10,000.
There it is. If you're a regular listener, $10,000.
What would you do with that money?
Well, you should donate it to somebody that has to pay property tax.
Probably, I don't know what I'd do with that. I'd probably send it to this lady in this other article right here.
Okay.
So a Chicago school teacher is on an airline. I don't know that it's important that it was a Southwest Airlines flight, but
you're going to call
it
them
happened
out
on,
anyway.
It happened
why
on
not?
Southwest.
Southwest, sponsor us.
So she sits down, and the person sitting next to her, she's sitting next to one of those people that want to talk on an airplane.
Uh-huh.
And maybe Southwest doesn't have. I've never flown Southwest, so I don't know if they have televisions.
They're budget, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they budget? Are they still a budget airline?
Yeah, I probably don't have television, so all you have left to do is talk. So she's sitting there. The person next to her says, "Hey, what do you do?" And she begins to talk about the fact that she works at a charter school, and she's a first grade teacher, and a lot of her students are homeless. And she starts telling this story, and she gets through the conversation as she's sitting there, and the person behind her reaches in between the seats and taps her on the shoulder, and she turns around. The person hands her a wad of money. And she said, "This is for your students. They said, go do something incredible." That's what they said.
Yeah.
So she takes the money. She says, "Thank you." And I mean, because if you're not used to getting things like that, you don't understand how to look at the money to see how much it is. So she just took the money and she put it in her pocket because she was embarrassed to look at it.
Right.
So before the end of the flight, the person sitting next to her saw the money exchange, reaches over and hands her a $20 bill.
Okay.
Then the person in front of her, when they start to deboard, stands up and hands her $10. So she gets off the plane, and the original person gave her 5 $100 bills. So she got $530 in cash donations.
Wow.
By sharing the story about what she did. And the thing that really got everybody was, you don't understand that how amazing these children's parents are. Even though they're homeless, they make sure their children are clean. They make sure that they're there to school. They're trying to better their children's life, and they're they're not homeless because they're sorry. They're homeless because they're just down on their luck. They've hit some bad breaks in life, and they're doing everything they can. And these people around her were just so moved that they made contributions to the class and to this charter school. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
And it's the power of compassion.
Yeah.
Not only the power of compassion, but the power of vision. And she was obviously passionate about what she did, and as she shared it, it became compelling and contagious, and people, wanted to get involved with it. What if we all tried to make a difference like that?
Yeah, I was thinking, how can I be more passionate
about what
on the
I
show?
Yeah, so people go
so
to
people
Patreon.
would give a wad of cash on the Patreon and say, "Hey, do something great. Here's $200 a week.
Yeah, right.
See you every day."
I mean, I could really get some social justice causes out there if I could be on every day.
Yeah, not intermittently.
I could fix most of the world's problems.
I believe that.
At least I have some ideas if somebody would implement them. Yeah. So, does anybody else have a story, or am I carrying the whole show today?
You do keep rolling, man.
I mean, you kind of just keep going. You
Okay,
just
well,
have this thing.
Well, speaking of finances,
yeah. I was trying to
money.
segue to mine, but I just can't figure it out.
a team of scientists made an enormous discovery.
Yeah.
So basically, what they were doing, they were sending sound waves through the Earth, and then they were mapping the different layers of rock. Mm-hmm. So they found this strange phenomenon because it reached a place where the sound waves would speed up.
Okay.
So they did this study, and they realized that the only formation that causes these increases in sound waves is when you have rock that is comprised of diamonds. So they have realized that there is a quadrillion tons of diamonds
I've heard about this, actually.
buried 200 miles beneath the Earth's surface.
I heard about this.
Now, 200 miles is a lot deeper than we can get to.
Yeah, right.
So we can't get to it. Mm-hmm. But what that does is that has actually made us aware that diamonds are not as rare as we thought they were. As a matter of fact, there are over 1,000 times as many diamonds on Earth as originally thought.
Okay. But if
So
we can't
people-
get to them, they're still rare, though.
Well, no, they're not rare on Earth.
But I mean,
They're just rare in our hands.
yeah.
Yeah.
So does that make them lose value? That there's
Well,
a
to me,
quadrillion?
I think, I'm thinking it does. Yeah.
I mean, it's just more responsible to get the cubic zirconia to me.
CZ, baby.
It scratches less.
Yeah, but I mean, I do
fine.
wonder what that will do. I mean, now somebody gives somebody a diamond, and they're like, "Oh yeah,
Sure. It makes
carrot.
makes all the
And there's a quadrillion tons of this stuff just right under my feet."
it makes all the blood diamond stuff seem kind of silly in hindsight, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
All that
Blood
senseless
diamonds. Where do blood diamonds come from?
Sierra Leone.
The
Yeah.
poorest country in the world.
Yep.
Blood diamonds come from the poorest country in the world.
Yeah.
I hope your significant other is watching this, listening to this, Clay. This could save you some money.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Clay's
you
turning.
know my spending habits. They're rather conservative, unless it's graphics cards and food. I think you should spend on food. You only get so much of it.
That's right.
And then you die.
And exactly.
Eat, drink, and be merry.
See, here's the thing about it. Like, there's this thing, right? This is a terrible segue, but I'm doing it anyway. This whole intermittent fasting thing, right?
Yeah, let's talk about gut health. Yeah.
Yeah, because we all know Chief is the foremost expert on all things gut health.
I don't have it, but I know about it.
Right. You can be that's an interesting concept. You're an expert, but you don't know the things, but you don't follow the things. What is that called? Hypocrisy?
No.
A whitewashed tomb.
No. I mean,
Haven't said anything like 10
You just, why? Okay, let me ask you this before we get to this story. If you know all these things, why not implement them?
okay, I know who the best 5 NBA players are, but I'm not going to start my own NBA team.
Okay, but I feel like this is more in your reach than that. I don't know that that's a good comparison.
Well, okay, yeah, I mean, I understand health, I understand nutrition, I understand gut health, but my life philosophy is that I already have a large measure of faith in my life. Mm-hmm. And that if I were to eat absolutely healthy, I would live forever. Mm-hmm. Because my faith is strong to overcome anything else that would come my way. And I don't want to live forever, so I have to do something that will eventually cause me to die.
So if you don't take you out, you'll never be taken out.
Right. That's kind of what I'm saying.
That's what he's saying.
I'm devastated. Just got an email from Chick-fil-A. The cow calendar is no more.
What?
It's the last year,
Speaking of gut health.
2018, and it's gone.
That is tragic.
That's earth-shattering.
What are they replacing it with?
They have an app. They have an app.
Yeah,
that you
that's what I was
scan.
gonna say, yeah.
It actually works pretty well.
Yeah, and it's pretty decent. But I still have a calendar card. It has free stuff every month.
Yeah, that's the only reason I go there.
So does the app.
Only if you buy a
But you have
certain
to
amount.
earn free stuff.
Yeah, you got to earn points by buying stuff. Then you get a free treat. what they call it.
Right, but you have to buy the calendar. The app is free.
I don't. I'm always given a calendar.
Not anymore.
Yeah, I know. Sad days.
My mom's not going to know what to buy me for Christmas.
That's what she gets you for Christmas?
Yeah.
Really?
She gets me a Cal calendar and a UGA sports calendar every year, UGA football calendar.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, why don't you send her an email and say, Mom, they're doing away with the cow calendar. Can I please have gift cards instead?
Yeah. The calendar amount of gift cards to Chick-fil-A.
Not the amount she spent on the calendar, but you need the amount of savings found in the
total
calendar.
amount of all
Listen
the
to
calendar treats per year.
I love my mom, and she'll
she listen to the podcast?
She'll never listen to this. I love my mom, but she sends me cash in the mail. Yes.
What do you mean?
She puts cash
Why is that bad?
in a card and puts it in the mail.
For what? For your birthday?
Just for any, random stuff. No, but it's weird.
Yeah, I like that.
She sends cash in the mail.
Give her my address.
I will take cash in the mail.
No, if it makes it. My son's birthday card was like a week late, and she was panicking because there was a bunch of money in it.
Really? Is cash in the mail like a bad thing?
Yes.
I've never heard that. Why are you reacting that way? You act like this is a well-known...
Just write a check. Wow.
I guess. I suppose.
You're saying cash in the mail is bad because if somebody steals it, they can use it.
But if
Yeah.
I guess I understand. But a check you have to endorse.
Right.
So if there's no signature on the back, then you can't cash it.
Have you guys talked about the Cash app?
Yeah, then she could send you a little message.
She doesn't know how to do that.
You could show her.
Education, training.
I'd have to see her to show her.
No, you wouldn't.
That would be like moving.
There's probably a video on YouTube. You could just send her a link.
Wow. Yeah, you could.
Okay. Intermittent
fasting. So let's get back to this story.
I need something to drink.
Yeah, there's not really anything.
There's some Mountain Spark
available.
Dew. What's it called? What'd you buy? That generic.
The studio audience will get you a drink.
Can somebody from the studio audience please get me
While
something
they do
to
that,
drink
let's talk
because
about
I'm
this.
99% parched. Not water.
Here's the deal.
I better have water.
What?
Water. Bring me 2 bottles of water.
That was ridiculous.
And it should be cold.
It's not very cold. So there's this doctor, Dr. Kevin Gendreau. He lost 125 pounds.
Yes.
Okay, and mainly by intermittent fasting.
Right.
Right.
You gonna explain what that is?
Yeah. So basically, intermittent fasting, the way I understand it, is you block out a certain time of a 24-hour period
8 hours.
where you eat. Is it always 8 hours? Because I've heard several different things. So you block out a period of time and you eat all of your calories within that bracket of time. You don't eat anything except water, right? The rest of the time? Or black coffee, right?
Correct. No,
Anything-
there's no calories.
just no
no
calories.
calories outside of that.
Just no calories out of the bracket, okay?
And you still have to. And you still have to set a limit on calories.
Yeah, well, hang on. Let me get here with this guy's story because this is pretty cool. So, he needed proper motivation, a whole food diet, and intermittent fasting. That was his three-pronged approach here.
Thank you.
So what happened is his sister was diagnosed with some aggressive cancer.
Yes.
And so he was over 300 pounds. And when his sister was diagnosed, he decided he wanted to make a change for the better in his own life, health-wise.
Yeah.
So he was motivated to figure it out, and he chose this path.
Right.
So he said he was eating for, he's an emotional eater. He's eating for comfort, that kind of thing. Kind of a crutch for him.
Yeah.
And so when he decided to change this, he changed his regimen. So he intermittent fasted, and he only ate specific foods. So this is the way.
Okay, so this is like
This
is like intermittent fasting on crack.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
Okay.
Well, I think this is probably the right way because I think a lot of people think about intermittent fasting because it's kind of a fad right now, right? It's kind of like the thing to do.
Yeah.
It's the new, I don't know, what is it, Atkins diet or the new Weight Watchers? Like, remember those were like popping? Those were like hype. It was in the commercials and the news. So this is the new fad, right? But I think a lot of people thought this way, is that, okay, I can only eat for 6-8 hours out of the day, but I eat whatever I want.
It may be 6 hours instead of 8 hours.
Maybe it is. I'm really not sure.
Yeah.
But you eat whatever you want for these 6 or 8 hours. Don't eat the rest of the time. Gucci bandana, right?
Yeah.
But it's not that way, because you can't just crush pizzas from 11 to 6 p.m. and then like I don't think that's how it works. And for this guy, it didn't work that way. He ate very specific foods: fruits, vegetables, nuts, chicken, turkey, fish, eggs, non-fat Greek yogurt, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and non-caloric spices and seasoning. And he said, if it's not on that list, I don't eat it. So this is low carb, high fat, high protein, lots of quick energy, fructose, quick energy, fruits and vegetables. So
No red meat.
Yeah, no red meat. Yep. So,
That's
but it worked for him. He lost 125 pounds, and that's kind of where he ended up. And he's a doctor, so he knows. I mean, he's a very health conscious guy, very educated guy. He says
there are fat doctors.
Oh yeah, well he was one. Right. Intermittent fasting works because it helps naturally decrease your daily calorie consumption while improving your insulin sensitivity. So that's why it works.
Yes.
So it makes your body chemically work in a different way to actually burn those calories off.
Right, but I mean, the whole process, the whole thought behind losing weight is that you burn more than you eat calories. Any diet, that's the way it works. Atkins, if you eat enough chicken that you're taking in more calories than you expend, you're going to gain weight.
Yeah.
The principle behind it is that you can't do it. You physically can't eat that much protein, so you lose weight.
Right.
And what this does is it bunches your calories together so you have a longer time to burn those calories with no rest. So what wouldn't work about intermittent fasting is if you chose the last 6 hours of your waking day.
Right.
In other words, if 10 p.m. was the end of your 6 hour eating period and then you went and laid down and went to sleep, your body's going to store that as fat.
Right.
Yeah, like
You got to eat before you go to bed.
Yeah, so the 6 hours that you pick is important.
So this guy was 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., and this is every other day. So I don't know if that means, surely that means.
I think he fasted the other days.
So
completely.
He only eats for
crazy.
8 hours every other day.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's.
Of course, you're going to lose weight if you're
no
not eating
wonder
for a
it
whole
works.
day.
Yeah.
But I mean, he changed it says outside that window, he allows himself black tea, black coffee, and water. So the 16-hour fasts helped him shed the last 50 pounds.
Yeah, so I mean, basically what happens is it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you move more calories to the front end of your day, you will lose more weight. So let's say that you're using MyFitnessPal. Yep. You're tracking everything.
Which is what he used, actually.
Yeah, you're tracking everything you eat. And you lose 50 pounds and you get stuck. And you're like, oh my gosh, but it says that I can still eat, 2,200 calories a day.
Yeah.
And I'm eating 2,200 calories a day, but I'm not losing weight. If you'll shift 400 of those calories too early in the morning, you will start losing weight again.
Yeah.
The problem with most of us is when we wake up, we don't front end load our diet. So we eat a small breakfast, a larger lunch, and then an even larger dinner.
Yep.
And then there's not enough activity after that larger dinner.
Right.
So when we go to sleep, our body stores reserve fuel as fat.
Yep.
So you front end load your diet and you lose more weight. Intermittent fasting also will it has been proven, there are studies that have shown that it will also increase focus. So if you practice this on a regular basis, if this is the way you eat, it creates the ability to focus on tasks and work better. I don't know why. That's probably insulin.
Right, that's what he said.
Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, I didn't know that's what it did, but it's probably has something to do with insulin. I mean, intermittent fasting works. I would add to that, if you could. I think that a great thing to add to that, and now listen, it sounds ridiculous, but if you eat intermittent fasting, I tell you what I might do. I might just try this. I may just try this as an experiment in life.
Okay.
Okay, so and just kind of keep everybody documented.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm going to. I'm thinking about it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
The clarification is important there. 'Cause
but let's say
this audience will
I
hold
think
you to it.
Madison says no.
You wake up every day.
Okay.
When you open your eyes, before you get out of bed, first thing you do is find 3 things you're grateful for and say those 3 things out loud.
Okay.
Start your day with an attitude of gratitude.
Sure.
Okay?
I'm with it.
Then take a cold shower.
Yikes.
Yeah. I mean, you can start with a warm shower and soap yourself down, but before you get out, spend 30 to 60 seconds
In the
on
ice
water.
cold.
It's
That's tough, man.
but it kickstarts your metabolism.
Yeah.
Because what happens is when your body temperature starts to drop, your metabolism
To heat
speeds
you
up to try to heat you up.
Homeostasis.
So you start your day, you kickstart it with a cold shower.
Yeah.
It brings focus and clarity, clearness of mind, jump starts your metabolism, and then you do the intermittent fasting. I believe that would lead to a happier, more joyful life. And if I'm right about that, I could probably write a book.
Perhaps so. Your own journey.
I'm going to call it the Third Thought Diet.
Then I bet you'll get some Patreon. You could sell it on Patreon.
There we go.
As an ebook.
Yeah. If you're a supporter, you get a copy of the book at a certain amount. $200 a week.
The tough thing about that, okay, if you're only
$200 per person per week.
Okay, if you're only gonna eat for, let's just say 8 hours.
Okay,
a day.
let's use this. Let's use this.
Yeah,
okay.
8 hours a day, and you wake up and you eat that first meal for breakfast before you go to work. Mm-hmm. The problem is you're still at work when dinner time rolls around.
Right. I think that's why he was doing 12 to 8.
Yeah.
Because that way you get up, drink your tea or coffee, bunch of water.
Yeah.
You get to lunchtime, you eat. Then you snack in the afternoon. You eat dinner before 8.
No. The 8 hours doesn't begin until you have the first caloric intake.
That's what I'm saying. At 12.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
I was confused.
So
you're
eats,
right.
if he eats, let's say he eats lunch at 12.
Yes.
Okay? That starts it. And then snacks, fruits, nuts, whatever it is, until dinner before 8 p.m. And then you're done at 8 until 12 the next day. So it's 16-hour fast.
So basically what I would do then is I would get up, have water,
Yeah.
black coffee.
Yeah. You hate black coffee.
I just hate coffee in general.
Drink tea. You should try tea.
So do that. Mm-hmm. Then at lunchtime, I start my caloric intake.
Yes.
A man my size, my base metabolic rate is somewhere around 38 to 4,000 calories per day. Yeah, the bigger you are,
The more
the
calories.
higher
Yep.
your base metabolic rate. So that means that just by being alive, I'm burning 3,800 to 4,000 calories. Just my heart beating, my lungs working, my eyes blinking. Yeah, that's without any activity, without any exercise.
Okay.
So that means if in that time frame, I just simply ate. If I went on a 2,500 calorie diet, if my caloric intake is 1,500 calories, means roughly every 2 days, just by food alone, I would be creating a 1 pound deficit. So I'd lose 1 pound every 2 days.
Okay.
But just the caffeine, the introduction of the caffeine early morning before you have any calories in your system is going to burn more.
Okay.
Caffeine is a
Right.
metabolic
Yeah.
increase. So I take the cold shower, and I'm getting my metabolism kicked in to hold my body temperature up. I'm burning more calories.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that if you did that initially, a man my size could probably burn 2 to 3 pounds per day just by making this shift. That's my hypothesis.
So,
and it'll work for a while.
Right, you're going to plateau eventually.
Yeah, you're going to plateau eventually because your base metabolic rate is going to come down as you lose weight, and it's going to match your caloric intake.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to drop the caloric intake.
Yeah.
To keep losing weight.
Yeah.
So
really the problem with like, all right, between 12 and 8, you eat a large pizza and you take up all the calories. The problem with that really is the fact that you don't get all the nutrients that you need.
Right.
It's not really
because that's what this.
Because you could do that, but you don't have the balance.
Because he's talking intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
But with what he ate, he's also balancing micronutrients and macronutrients by the foods that he chose to eat. But yeah, I eat 3,000 calories worth of pasta.
And there's nothing really in that. It's just carbs.
Right. What's going to happen is my body is going to just start shutting down.
Yeah.
Because somewhere in that 8 hours, you've got to create some kind of long burning, either carbohydrate, slow burning carbohydrate or protein, or you're going to be starving before you eat again.
Yeah.
And by starving, I mean your body is already starting to regulate itself and store fat. So you got to have something to sustain you through that 16 hours.
Mm-hmm. So this says just
just
a quick calculator.
Yeah.
For my height and weight, I need 1,857 calories a day. That's my BMR.
Yeah. See what mine is.
Male. Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. How tall are you?
6 feet.
That's more than I thought. Well, it's more than you've said before. I don't mean that like in a harsh way. It's just activity level. What do you think?
Sedentary.
Check. And you're all right. 35-30.
Oh, it's lower than I thought because I
35,
probably don't live a sedentary life.
What is let's find out. Sedentary.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean? Sedentary lifestyle.
I hope this is
Definition.
entertaining to the studio audience, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. Because
yeah.
Why you don't go to the Patreon? Because we really do what entertains us instead of what entertains you guys.
Yeah, people know that. They're not confused to think that Third Thoughts was created to serve them. They know we're just in here talking about stuff. We just hope they enjoy it. I don't know that there's a particular parameter. Okay.
What are the other options? Moderate?
Yeah, there's so there's sedentary,
Yeah.
low active, and active.
Low active is
on this particular.
I would say low active.
All right, if you're low active,
I mean, I'm out feeding the animals. I mean, I'm out doing stuff.
low active it only brings you to 3892.
3892. That's where that's where I thought I was, between 38 and 4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
that wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad formulaic guess, was it?
no, I'm impressed with that actually.
Yeah. Our other host is completely checked out on the podcast. He's
has.
surfing Facebook.
I'm looking.
He's over it. Actually, I'm sorry, Chief.
Oh, never mind. It's not Facebook.
Here's what I did.
It looks like Facebook.
Here's what I
It is
did.
Facebook. It's just he's actually working his job.
Oh.
I'm doing both.
So here's what I did. Your caloric needs
Yes.
are 3892.
Yes.
Your BMR is actually 2669.
Okay. Yeah.
What's BMR?
That's
Base
your-
mentality. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
So that's your
I
metabolic
am
rate.
listening.
Yeah.
Then your caloric needs are higher.
Needs. Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's active calories, of course, and then
Right.
there's
right.
the other ones.
So I think this would be a pretty good. I mean, if you're gonna do an experiment with your life,
intermittent fasting,
this
I mean,
is
it's
not
a good
bad
one.
I don't think you need to do it, Clay.
You don't think I need to do it?
No.
I think I just need to change what I'm eating.
Okay, but here's the reality. The reality is that
It is National Hot Dog
We need to
Day.
do it
that
after
this is not a diet.
Yeah. This is a lifestyle.
This is this will lead to a healthy lifestyle.
There's other healthy lifestyle choices that you can make. There's no way I'm going to fast for 16 hours.
But when you think about it, it's not that crazy. I mean, you're asleep most of that time.
You're asleep most of a 16-hour period. I sleep 7 hours
if I
a
don't
night.
if I don't eat until 12,
So that leaves 9 hours.
here's the thing. Listen,
It'd be rough.
I don't eat until 12
Yeah.
most days anyway. All right. Only thing I have in the morning, black coffee, water. Anyway,
Yeah.
then I eat lunch around 12:31, and then I usually eat dinner 6:30 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of already do it.
Yeah.
The problem is on
The chips and the dip and the stuff.
Right. The
that's
problem is what
at
I'm
11
eating.
at 11 o'clock at night.
right, or the
Outdated pastries from Publix.
Yeah, the 650 calories in a frappuccino at 3 p.m.
With a
or-
cookie.
It's just sugar. I mean, it's just nothing but there's nothing productive in that. Or the the sodas after 8 p.m. gaming on the weekend. Stuff like that. Like, so there's extra calories there and there's extra stuff. I mean, it's not nutritional stuff that's added in. Plus, but I mean, I sit at a desk most of the time.
Yeah.
And when I'm home, whether I'm working on school or playing games, I'm sitting at a desk. So it's like, that's really the issue. I don't have enough active calories.
The habit of eating is what gets most of us. Mm-hmm. Not eating to quench hunger.
Yeah.
And it's not even, I don't even think it's like satisfaction eating.
Yeah.
That we want to eat certain things that satisfy us and that make us feel good. I think it's the habit of eating with Americans.
It's just
Because we
part
have
of the
so
day.
we have so much food on hand that, like 11 o'clock last night, I went in my kitchen and fixed myself a turkey sandwich with mayo.
11 p.m.
And ate it, and then ate, a handful of frozen cream puffs.
Here's the other thing I did, though.
You
Check
have any
this
more of those
out.
cream puffs.
Yeah, I got more.
Sweet.
So last weekend, 2 days off in a row, right?
Yeah.
So my roommates were out of town, so I went to pizza joint. Mm-hmm. Not a chain pizza. Well, it is a chain pizza joint, but not your normal delivery. So the large pizza is larger, right?
Right.
And I bought it for like $20.
Yeah.
And it was like a meat lovers with ricotta cheese.
Come on now.
It was excellent. It was really good. But I got it and I was like, man, this was expensive and there's a lot of pizza. So what I did was I ate it for lunch that day, dinner that night, lunch the next day, and dinner the next day. So I'm thinking that could be a problem.
That's where the MCL issues are coming in.
I wonder.
The ricotta.
I
Ricotta got
wonder
me.
how many calories that was.
I don't know. See, that's the thing about pizza joint like that.
Yeah,
They
you don't
tell
know.
you, but it was a lot. It was a big pizza, and we're talking about salami. We're talking about Italian sausage, pepperoni, ham, bacon.
What's for dinner tonight?
Not that. I can't even see. That's the thing. When I think about it now, I'm just all like, ugh. There's so much. And then here's the other thing I did. So this particular pizza place doesn't give you like a garlic sauce like Papa John's. Speaking of Papa John, we're gonna get to him in a second. But I'm big on it. I'm big on sauce. Honestly, I could probably cut most of my caloric intake based on sauce. Because if I'm eating wings, I'm eating blue cheese. If I'm eating fries, I've got ranch. Or mayo. And on a rare occasion, I don't even like ketchup that much, but on a rare occasion, ketchup. But I'm a big sauce guy. If I'm eating chicken fingers,
you do like sauce.
I need honey mustard. I need some hot sauce. Pretty much regardless of what I'm eating, I need hot sauce.
I don't think this is possible.
What you got?
Oh, never mind. It is possible. A Marco's cheese pizza from Marco's.
Yeah. I didn't go to Marco's, but okay.
Okay, but a large, just cheese.
Yep.
Okay, so anything you add to that's going to add calories.
Sure. So bread and cheese, sauce.
One slice from a large pizza,
Yeah.
is 576 calories.
Okay.
So I think a large Marco's pizza has 10 or 12 slices of pizza.
Is it that many?
I think so.
I can't remember.
Usually it's 8. And
Go
is
with 8. Just go with 8
Okay, 8.
8's the
to make
average.
it easy because it's
Okay.
4,000 calories. 4,000 what?
Yeah, so
96.
that's no, it's
Did you say
over
512?
576.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So that's like 48.
4,800 calories. Oh, that's a lot of calories.
Wait, see, what'd you say? 576 times 8?
Yeah.
4,600 calories.
4,600 calories. Yeah, that's a
Yikes.
lot. Each slice has 60 milligrams of sodium.
Yeah, that's a killer too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes, man. There's no telling what that pizza was. I mean, I only ate
22 grams of sugar.
So I only ate 2 slices per meal.
So
Right.
1,200 calories.
So yeah, like a lot.
That pizza was probably like
I mean,
at
I'm sure
least
it's
700
more.
or
Yeah, I'm
800.
sure it's
Yeah.
more than that. But then I didn't finish telling you what I was doing. So I'm big on sauce, right? I didn't have any sauce. Okay, I didn't have any ranch, didn't have any blue cheese or anything like that. I'm like, man, I'm at the house. I don't want to go back out. That's another problem. I'm just lazy. But I go to the fridge. I'm like, what do I got? How can I make some sauce? So I get the country crock butter.
Come on.
I just give me a big old spoonful of it. Then I add another spoonful in a little glass container. I got some minced garlic. I got me a big old spoon of that. Throw that junk in the microwave, about 35 seconds. And you got a sauce, brother. Let me tell you, the crust, I ate every bit of the crust and all the garlic butter. So I know the see, that's the thing. I guess I was asking you why you don't put your things into action that you know. I'm the same way. I know exactly what the problems are.
Right.
But I just like garlic butter, okay? I just enjoy it. It makes me happy.
Y'all are making me hungry.
You know?
It's time for second
Yeah, I mean,
lunch.
and another example of that is, okay, Madison, incredible high school golfer. Mm-hmm. I could watch her play golf and knew exactly what she needed to do to be a better golfer.
Right.
But I couldn't do it myself.
Right. Yeah.
My swing's ugly and broken and just...
Well, I guess it is.
Now, I hit it... Do what? I hit it a long way.
I guess it does go back to your NBA example a little bit. Like those coaches.
Yeah.
How do you coach LeBron James?
Right.
Like you can't do the things he does, or you'd be out there doing it, right? So, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, it's. I mean, just because you have the knowledge doesn't mean you're going to do it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of pizzas,
So let's just think about this for a second. Let's just say that I start doing this.
yeah.
What is the date today?
Today is July the 18th, 2018.
July the 18th. So let's say how much weight, if I did this, how much weight could I practically lose by Halloween?
oh my gosh. That's
How many weeks is that?
August, September,
That's 5,
3
9,
3.5.
13 weeks.
Could I lose 50 pounds in 13 weeks?
50 pounds? Is that healthy? Is it okay to drop that much weight in that amount of time? 50.
Hold on, I got some text coming in.
Yeah, it's Sean. Sean sent us a message about the cow calendar.
Oh, yeah. That's who I thought would be upset the most.
I'm going to go in the
Sean.
morning.
You're not too late, brother. We talked about it. If you're listening right now, if you're listening later. I don't know when you listen. But anyway, 50 pounds, 13 weeks.
Is that possible?
Yes.
That's
Sure,
4 pounds. That's 4 pounds a week, or
I'm
a half
sure
a
it's-
pound a day.
I'm sure that's possible, yeah. It sounds painful, but
Yeah, I mean, think about the people in Biggest Loser. Not that I'm
a
comparing
half
you to those
a pound,
people.
a half a pound a day.
requires you to eat how many calories a day?
Put it into
How much
your
did you say?
MyFitnessPal.
3,800,
Yeah.
23,
38.92, so 3,900.
3,900, 2,400 calories a day.
Okay.
Just cut sodas out.
Between 12 and 8. Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Do it
Go
like
to
that?
black
Yeah.
coffee. Go to black coffee, no Mountain Dew.
So I mean, but
No
I'm
turkey
gonna lose,
sandwich at 11.
But I'm going to lose more weight than that because of the other factors of intermittent fasting.
Right, like better food.
Not only that, but
The insulin.
and when you eat the calories.
So, are you going to do 12 to 8 or are you going to front load it more?
I probably won't do 12 to well, I may have to in order for me to get dinner in with my family.
Yeah.
It'll probably have to be 12 to 8.
Yeah. That's one of the big kickers for me too is like, especially if I cook
Yeah.
or if I cook with my roommates, sometimes it just takes longer depending on what we get. You go to the store at 6,
Yeah.
you get back at almost 7, you start prepping everything, you cook it, and it's like 9, and you're eating like ribeye.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, but I know it's not good for me.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't care.
Listen,
I do care.
We need to
Now
get
more
on.
than
We
ever.
need to get on to Papa John because we said we were going to talk about
Do
it.
it.
Yeah. Speaking of pizzas and stuff and bad things that people do when they probably know they shouldn't.
When they eat pizza.
So Papa John Schnatter. That's how you say it, right? Schnatter?
Sure.
That's his last name.
Yeah.
So he's in trouble.
Yes.
He's been in trouble. He doesn't have a great track record. He's been in trouble before. But he's in trouble again, and this is probably the worst trouble he's been in. And so he said a racial slur, admitted to saying a racial slur on a conference call earlier in the year with shareholders. Mm-hmm. And so that came out. And now he's been removed from his... He was already removed as the CEO
right.
previously.
Yes.
And he was chairman of the board.
Yes.
Still. He's been removed from his chairman of the board position. And they evicted him from his office.
Yes.
So like he doesn't even have a place to go. Well, I mean,
Right.
he has a giant mansion of a house.
Right.
So I think he's fine. Like he's not homeless. But now the most recent article is Colonel Sanders' grandson
Yes.
has come out and said that Papa John is a, quote, weasel.
Well, my understanding is that Papa John launched a smear campaign against Colonel Sanders,
Right. And so what?
trying to defend himself.
Yeah. And so Trig Adams, who is Colonel Sanders' grandson, said he's a weasel, talking about Papa John. Because he's prejudiced, he's trying to say somebody else was too. Colonel Sanders had absolutely no prejudice against anybody.
Did you know he was AG? Got saved in the AG church.
Colonel Sanders?
Yeah.
No, I
I
didn't
feel
know
like
that.
I didn't know that. I feel like I've
Yeah.
heard that.
Did not know that.
Yeah, the real Christian chicken. That's right.
Right.
The first Christian chicken.
I never go to KFC. I used to go. But then I went in Amsterdam. And now it's just not the same.
Yeah, it is
Because
different.
it was bad in
No,
Amsterdam.
it's so much better.
Really?
In Amsterdam. Than it
I'm
is
not
here.
even gonna lie. Those bowls that they have that have the chicken and
in the mashed potatoes.
and the mashed potatoes and the gravy.
and the cheese and corn.
That probably doesn't fit the intermittent fasting diet, does it?
No, that's probably all you could eat for an entire
Protein and
24
vegetables.
And gravy and
with
cheese.
butter.
Corn is not useful. Corn is the most useful, useless thing.
It's good for
Hang with me, right?
fuel.
Yeah, right. Like, we use it and grind it up and blend it down and make it into other things. But if you eat it by itself, like it's kind of just useless.
On the cob, those sweet corn,
It's
grilled.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, your body doesn't do anything with it, right? Not really.
Not the whole. You know, when you go to the bathroom, you see corn.
Sure. No, yeah,
It's
but
just the whole.
But it's not like. I mean, what is? Is
The
it?
inside is
It's
digested.
just carbs.
No, it's starch.
Is that not carbs? More or less.
Starch is sugar.
Okay, so it just
Corn
your
is
body just breaks it down into
It's
sugar.
a very fast burning.
So it's just quick energy then.
Yeah, it's quick energy. Yeah. That's why, that's why we feed animals
The
corn.
corn.
Because
Yeah.
it's high sugar and it causes them to gain weight
Yeah.
because they're sedentary.
Right.
So they feed them corn to finish them off, creates lots of fat and lots of weight. But animals were never designed to eat corn. They were designed to eat grass.
Yeah.
Especially, rumen-based animals that have a rumen.
What's a rumen?
multiple chambered stomachs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can't use those terms. You know that.
The rumen is the part that breaks down starchy materials or fibrous materials like grass and hay. Well, it's not needed to break down corn. So therefore, they were never designed to eat corn.
Gotcha.
But we feed them corn now. And that's part of the reason that the meat is not as nutritious as it used to be either, because it's not grass-fed.
But it tastes better.
What does?
Grass-fed beef is not good because it's so lean.
It is much leaner. Yeah,
I mean, it's good for you.
absolutely.
It does not taste good.
It's just not the same.
I want
Yeah.
a Wagyu brisket with more fat.
Now, one interesting thing about the way that we do, it's not healthier from the standpoint of health, but the way we raise pigs now, house-raised pigs. In other words, they're raised, on concrete. They're raised indoors, paddock raised. They're large numbers. Has basically eradicated trichinosis from pork. Growing up, your parents always used to say, "Oh, that pork chop's not done. We got to cook. You got to cook pork all the way done."
Yep.
Yeah.
The reason is because trichinosis. You had to fully cook the meat in order to kill the trichinosis, because they were out wild and they were exposed to it from other wild animals. And pork is a very it doesn't process the trichinosis worm through its system. It gets hung because of the digestive system. It bursts, and the meat is overridden with trichinosis. Okay. Now, the way we raise pigs, because they're not exposed to trichinosis, you can actually eat rare pork, and it's safe now. I mean, I don't advise it, but you can eat rare pork without the fear of trichinosis.
See, I have seen. I say that I have actually. Somebody at Longhorn. Was that you? Chief?
No, I've never ordered rare.
Somebody.
If I go to Longhorn, I'm not getting pork.
Somebody got the pork chop at Longhorn one time. I was with. I don't remember who it was, but they got it medium rare.
Yeah, medium rare is good. That's a good for certain cuts of pork.
For a pork chop?
Yeah, because the fear of trichinosis is not there anymore.
You don't have to worry about it. It's more tender.
Is it better? Tastes better?
Yeah, I mean, it's more. Yes, like a steak, it does taste better, but the texture is way better too because it doesn't get hard and it doesn't get dry.
Now I have seen. Have you seen the chicken sashimi? Where they cut it and it's just seared around the edge like ahi tuna?
No.
Why do people do that?
I don't know why people do that.
Because chicken is not. Has chicken come?
No, you have to.
It's
cook
not far enough to be
165.
We haven't improved the chicken raising thing enough, right?
I would think that you would either have to cook it to 165 or treat it with so many antibiotics. Nothing can be alive in it.
You can sous vide it at 150 for like X number of hours.
Because this looked like, how the ahi
It looked
tuna
raw,
looks, right?
Yeah, it looked raw inside.
The tuna is red in the
Yeah.
middle, and you got that white ring where they just quickly seared it, right? This looks just like that, but it's chicken.
No, there's no way I would eat that.
Yeah. Well, places in Japan, but places in like New York and stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a fad. It's probably over treated with some chemicals and
That's what I was wondering too, because chicken's so
and
pumped full of
antibiotics.
stuff
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah, yeah. Like
it's always discouraging when you get the chickens and they're like
The breast,
big breast,
yeah.
and then you cook it and it's like.
well,
it
the
cooks all
reason
water out of it.
is because they're injected.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to complain because organic poultry pasture raised chicken is so much more expensive, but they inject everything else to make it look so much larger.
Yep.
You're buying water. When you actually look at the amount of chicken you're getting, organic pasture raised is still more expensive. But when you take away that water and you shrink that bird down to the size that it's supposed to be, then it's a much closer price difference.
Yeah, and I guess the benefit kind of is like it's hard to get it dry unless you're just. I try to not overcook my chicken. I try not to overcook anything.
Yeah, you have to watch chicken when you're cooking it. I mean, you have to stay on top of chicken.
Yeah. I never grill it though, because grilling.
And that is part of it. I mean, them injecting the broth or the water into it does make it easier to cook.
Yes, it's idiot proof. There's pork. A lot of the pork they sell now is
that's what I mean.
Soaked and injected and stuff, and that's because it's idiot proof pork.
Yeah.
But if you dry out pork butt, you have a problem. But
yeah, I mean, and the worst thing in the world is eating overcooked chicken.
yes,
It's awful, man. It's like it's just the texture is weird and it doesn't taste good.
No.
Yeah,
It's really terrible. And the only thing worse than overcooked chicken breast is overcooked processed chicken. Like where they
Like a
grind
chicken
it up
finger?
and then they make a breast out of it and you overcook
Or a
that
nugget.
thing. Yeah, and it's like, oh,
Ever get an
God, what
overcooked
is
nugget?
that?
It's like powdery on the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gross.
So anyway, but I'm still thinking about this.
I think you should do it, Chief.
And we're just going to keep it. We'll keep everybody.
We'll keep a log.
We'll
Yeah,
keep
this is like
everybody.
a accountability
I'll
thing.
do a weigh-in on Wednesdays,
Okay.
and then we can post it on the socials.
Okay. I'm willing to try it. I'm willing to give it a shot
Yeah.
with you.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of already. That's the thing. Like, I kind of already do it, and I hate eating after 8 anyway.
Yeah. The biggest thing, for me is going to be finding enough room for food in that caloric intake
Because
I drink more than 3,000 calories worth of soft drinks.
yeah, I
just go
the
back
way
to
I
black
understand
coffee,
it.
man.
Yeah, the way I understand is you're gonna have to stop doing that.
Well, you don't have to. Calories are calories.
But the
But
sugar,
it's the nutrient. It's the
Right, that's what I'm
nutrients that
saying.
make the difference. The nutrients are what makes the difference.
a lot of corn in those Mountain Dews.
If I continue to eat the way I eat and I pack it all into a 6 or 8 hour period of time, then I'm going to starve
You don't usually eat that much.
because I have so many calories with
Yeah.
soda. I don't eat that much. Today was an extraordinary day because I ate the 8 tacos.
That's the thing, dude. Like stuff like that. I don't know how many calories that is, but
You have to look it up.
probably shouldn't eat.
You have to track
9.
it.
Hey,
That's the thing. You have to track
you
it.
scorned and mocked me.
And then I
I
think
mean,
what
eat
will-
9. I'm going to eat them regardless.
I think what's going to
9
happen,
of them?
more hypothesis here. As we get into this, I start losing weight. I think what I can do is if I hit that wall where I no longer lose weight, I shrink that time frame.
Okay.
Right? So instead of 8 hours, if I hit that place where I stop losing weight,
Shrink it to 6.
to 7.
Well,
And I think that'll
are you going
kick
to cut
back
it
up.
off? You going to cut off the late end, or are you going to just cut it equal from both sides? And what are you going to do? So you're going to
It
go 12
doesn't-
to 7?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Are you gonna go-
See, that doesn't matter. Once you eat the first calories, it doesn't matter. Once you eat the first calories, the
It's
clock
just-
starts.
it's just the time
So if you
from
wake
then.
up in the morning and forget, and you eat an egg, your
That's
clock
it.
starts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's going to make dinner time tough. That is the thing, though. It was like you were saying earlier. Like we've set up our day to end with this big meal.
Yes,
That's
we sure
really-
have.
That's really tough. Mm-hmm. Because we're so busy in the
But
morning,
I'm
we got to
also
get to
gonna.
work.
But I'm also gonna add the other 2 ingredients. Go start every day. Attitude of gratitude. Cold shower.
I don't know about the cold shower, man.
I'm gonna do it.
I
I'm gonna
just
do it. I'm
hate
gonna
it,
do it. I'm gonna do it.
You heard it here on Third Thoughts First. Chief is going to do it. He's going to get it done.
We're going to give you his before and
My
after
daughter
pictures.
has a look of disbelief.
We're going to give you his before picture in just a few minutes.
She doesn't know. She doesn't understand the power of the accountability of the podcast listener. The podcast audience is ruthless.
When my daughter comes back from Switzerland and I meet her at the airport, she's going to say, "Where's Dad?"
And you say,
And I'm going to step out
left
from
him
behind
in
a
the
light.
past.
And I'm going to step out from behind a light pole and say, "Here I am."
If you
I
do
left
it with
100
that,
pounds of him in the past.
If you do it with that motion right there,
I'm only half the man I was when you left.
That would be awesome. I think it would be. We should give it a shot.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
I'm not promising any exercise to go along with it.
No.
Remember that statistic I gave you early in the program?
Yeah. Yeah. Sedentary.
More people are killed jogging and cycling by automobiles than people sitting in a recliner.
True enough. Hey, if you've been with us on Third Thoughts today live on Spreaker, we appreciate you. Thanks for being with us. If you're listening later on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Now, we are now on Spotify. That's right, son. Don't give me that look, studio audience. We are on Spotify. It was approved. You can find us on all of those outlets and listen later. Please subscribe. If you have not, please give us a download, a review, something like that. And we would definitely appreciate it. It helps us out greatly. Are you playing outro music? You gonna play that outro music? All right, I'm rolling with it. I'm with it. Hey, thanks so much for being with us. Catch us next Wednesday at 2 p.m. We will be live here on Spreaker. We appreciate you. Have a good week. We'll see you next time. And we're out.
I believe every